Hi there. What's a good algo trading exit? Well, I tested 26 of them, and here's what I found. I'm champion trader Kevin Davey. Let's get started. Okay, so the big problem when you start to think about, well, hey, what's the best entry? What's the best exit? What's the best strategy? You can cherry pick examples and you can prove that almost anything is the best. And you see this a lot out there where people will say, oh, hey, use this position sizing method. Look what it did to this strategy. Or look at this price action entry. Look how good it did on this particular trade. You got to watch out for that because those are all just cherry picked examples. What you have to do is you have to do rigorous testing. And when you do that, most trading results, they look amazing, but then turn to blah, meh. No big deal. Oh, it's not as good as I thought. That's what happens. But you have to do rigorous testing. And that's what I do. And that's what I did here when I decided to look at exits. So when you're looking at developing an algo trading system, you've got to look at exits, and that's what I did here. But you've got to put it with some different entries, different markets, bar sizes. I did walk forward testing, so I did some different combinations. You've got to do all that to do a rigorous test. And it's a big problem because in most trading software, what you have to do is you first insert the chart. Well, you pick your market, you pick your bar size, right? So like here is the micro NASDAQ, micro mini NASDAQ. And it's a 122-minute bar chart. Well, you got to put it in there. Then you got to insert the strategy that has your entry and exit. You got to set up your walk forward optimization. You've got to run the analysis. You've got to compile the results. And that's one test. Then you got to go and you got to do it again. And again and again and again. And, you got to run thousands or hundreds of thousands of cases to get anything that's worthwhile as far as enough data. That would take you forever. It's extremely time consuming. My solution is software that a student of mine wrote. It's called Multi-Walk software. I ran a test a while back and it cut my development time for some testing by 93%. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, but it turns hours into testing and literally it turns them into minutes. And you can learn more about Multi-Walk by hitting the QR code there. But that's what I use to do all this testing for the exits. So I put in all my symbols. As you can see there, I tested 44 different symbols. Put in all my bar sizes. I only did 3 for this test. And I did a whole bunch of different walk forward combinations of in and out period. And then I took 6 standard entries, 6 counter trend entries, so 12 altogether. Like I said, I did it on 44 futures markets, 3 bar sizes, a bunch of different walk forward combinations, and then I tested 26 different exits. One of the exits is a stop and reverse, which would be, hey, if this happens, buy. If something else happens, sell short. So it's always in the market, either long or short. But altogether, there's 26. And I generated for this study roughly 250,000 unique equity curves. And this took, with Multi-Walk, 84 hours on a pretty high-end computer that I have that dedicated to testing. It still took, 3.5 days to run continuously, and then compiled all the data. Then I had to go and analyze it. So this took a lot of work. There's a lot of detail behind this. All right, so I just wanted to tell you what I did so you can appreciate what I end up coming up with. So the exits I looked at stop and reverse. Then I looked at combinations of stops and targets that were dollar-based. If the profit's $1,000, exit. If you hit $1,000 and fall back, get out at break even. I also did those based on ATRs, which is average true range. So if a stop of 2 times the average true range, that kind of thing. I also did bars since entry as an exit, where I exited after a certain number of bars after I entered. And I did some variations on that. I also did some profit protectors, also known as like trailing stops. You know, if I hit $1,000 profit, well, now put a trailing stop at like $500, and as it goes up, it keeps following it, that kind of thing. And then I did some technical exits. For example, if you're long and you hit a 3-bar low, exit. Obviously, there's a ton of different technical exits I could have done. I only did a couple here just to see how they worked. Some popular ones worked. Then, what I did, I put that all together, let it run, and then I analyzed it based on profit and loss divided by the average drawdown. That seems to be a pretty good metric that encompasses both the profit and the risk, which is I measure by average drawdown. So, here are the results. The top 2, I'm only going to show you the top 2 here, were both profit targets. One was based on the average true range, and the other one was based on dollars, so a set dollar amount. That could vary during the test, but it's a dollar amount. So, for example, hey, if your open profit hits $3,000, exit. Or if your profit hits 3 times the average true range, exit. Those were the best 2. Now, that was the only exit there, were these. So there were no stops. There were no reversals. There were no other ways to get out. So these alone could be really dangerous. Because if you don't hit the profit target, you could be stuck in a trade for years. And I did some filtering where I made sure there were more than 50 trades. So I got rid of some of those buy and hold forever, or buy and hope, I guess you'd call it. But these are the exits that turned out to be the best, where you just aim for a profit target. Once you hit it, you get out, and then you wait for the next signal from your entry. Those were the best. Pretty interesting. But like I said, they could be dangerous by themselves. You might want to add a catastrophic stop loss, something big where, hey, if everything goes wrong, you get out before your account gets blown up. You don't want that. But that's something for you to test. Here's the TradeStation Easy Language Code. I do all my development in TradeStation. The multi-walk software I talked about earlier only works with TradeStation. But you can see I did not use the standard command set profit target that a lot of people use. That would get you out during a bar. And there's a specific reason I did it this way, but basically I'm checking the open profit at the end of every bar. And when it hits a certain amount, that's when I'm getting out. And again, I want to warn everybody that if you only have one of these exits, you subject yourself to unlimited potential losses. So you might not want to do that, but it is what tested best. All right, well, I hope this was informative. I hope it gives you something to think about. And if you have comments, leave them. What exit do you like better? Which one has worked for you in real trading? I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. I'm Champion Trader Kevin Davey. Have a great day.